All right, so I'm here with Candice. Candice, how old are you?
I'm 30 years old.
Are you originally from Arizona?
No, I'm originally from Van Nuys, California.
And what brings you all the way out here to Arizona?
To be completely honest, I actually came here 2 years ago because I got sex trafficked in Nevada. I got taken over to Sacramento in California against my will, and I was forced to do prostitution. And if I didn't do what I was supposed to or stuff like that, like he would slice my arm up, and I have like a really big scar right here.
Yeah.
It's like this thick, and like from here to here. I chose not to do, a date, and so he took like this big ass knife and like sliced my arm up. And long story short, it was about a month, and 13 of us got found. And he just got sentenced like probably less than a year ago, and he's facing like 2 life sentences right now. So yeah, and so they brought me out to Arizona to go to a sex trafficking rehab, and so that's what I did 2 years ago. But it only took me a year to do it. So yeah. But I ended up just liking Arizona, so I stayed out here.
So this guy had multiple girls?
Yeah, there was 13 of us.
There was 13 of you guys?
Yeah.
And he was all crazy. Holding them against their will?
Yeah, there was a guy in each room, and so the girl couldn't leave. They would just get the dates to come to the room, and they couldn't like take the dates couldn't take the girls with them, or they could only go in the room and then leave. You know what I mean? So, and it was crazy because none of them like told the cops or notified anybody. So
yeah,
it was pretty crazy. And you had to do whatever they wanted to do. It didn't matter.
How did you meet this person?
I met him in Nevada, actually, at a casino, because that's where I lived. I was in Nevada, and he pretended that he liked me, and he was really cool. And he told me, because at the time I was doing bad, and I started, dibble-dabbling just like in the casino life, and he said, do you want, or he was like pretending like he was my boyfriend and all that kind of stuff. And so then he was getting me hotel rooms and paying for dinners and like buying me clothes. And then probably like 2 weeks into it, he told me that I had to pay him back for everything, and obviously I didn't have money to do that, Yeah. And so he opened a door to a hotel room, and there was 12 other girls in there, and he pretty much told me that his bottom bitch was going to show me what to do and how to do it, and because I had never prostituted before that, so it was really scary. I wasn't allowed to talk to my mom, my family, any of that kind of stuff, and so he took us to a whole different state just to make sure that there's like no contact with any of our families, so we weren't allowed to go out because he was afraid that we might say something. So we had there was like 2 or 3 of us in a room, just depending on how it worked out. And the bottom bitch or whatever, she would talk to the people on the internet, and she would just get them pretty much to come to the room, and she would say, this is me, but it was really not us saying it was her. And so they would knock on the door, and then there would be a dude behind the door, but the girl would have to answer the door, and they would come in and whatever, and then do whatever they asked to do, and then they wouldn't pay you. They would pay the bottom bitch girl, and then he got all the money, and like that was pretty much it. It was like it wasn't even like a prostitution thing. It was like literally being like human trafficked, So yeah, it was crazy.
People that are not familiar with the term bottom bitch, what does that mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's like somebody that in his words, is somebody that has been loyal to him in the game as far as like money and drugs and stuff like that, that he trusts, that's loyal to him, and that has been his prostitute for 10 years.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure exactly what it like means, but that's what he said that's what she was to him. So
it's pretty much like the top girl, the loyal girl, but in their world it's the bottom one, right?
In their world, it's the best of the group that he has, so he trusts her the most out of everybody.
Yeah, so in a regular setting, that would be probably the top person.
Exactly, right.
But
exactly, yeah. And I see what you're saying.
The bottom.
Exactly, you're just like, oh yeah, that's not some. But it's weird because in that I guess that lifestyle, they want to be the bottom bitch because they're the best in the little group that they are. You know what I mean? Because it's just probably out of insecurities and stuff of being forced to do things you don't want to do. but it kind of fucks your brain up into thinking like it becomes a normal or something, and it's not normal at all. It's crazy. But I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And like I don't know, if like, I mean, being young and as naive as I was, I mean, I wish I seen more signs, and I wish I knew and educated myself or people around me, or educated me more better on, I don't know, I guess how to read people and judge people. Because had I seen, I mean, of course I would have ran out, but they're very charming, and they will tell you anything to. He even told me all this stuff, like he wanted to have a child with me, and just like crazy things. And pimps don't talk like that. When you think of a pimp, you think of somebody that's talking shit to you, calling you a bitch and this and that, but they come as a boyfriend, you know what I mean, and then turn into a gorilla pimp, which is somebody that beats you and cuts you and stuff. But yeah, my scar is pretty gnarly. It's like, it's really, really, it's crazy. I even have them on my hand still. Like, see all the scars on my hand.
So he actually ended up turning into a gorilla pimp?
Yeah, he in the beginning he didn't do that or anything, but yeah. I had surgery and stuff because he went too deep, and he had to take me into the hospital. And then there's one that goes all the way up here, and they had to put staples in my arm. And they asked me, like, what happened? And I had to tell them that I got into an ATV accident. And it was, they didn't believe it, just the way that it was and the angles that it is, because it looks like somebody did it from this way, not going on to a fence, So
why didn't you tell them at the hospital? Was it because you were scared, or?
Oh, I was terrified. I already knew. It's weird because they test you so much, because they'll leave like a hotel room and be like, hey, I'm gonna go 30 minutes away, but I'll be back, so don't leave, okay? And one time he did that, and we were at the Sands Hotel in Nevada, and I was like, okay, this is my opportunity to get away. And so I called my sister, and I told her everything that happened. I'm like, I can't talk about it now, but will you just please meet me outside? And she's like, yeah. So I grabbed all my stuff within like 5 minutes. He says 30 minutes. So I grabbed everything 5 minutes. I open the door and I walk around. Then I go to the elevator. As soon as I turn the corner of the elevator, he was standing right there, just standing there waiting. And I was terrified to go back to the room with him, because I already knew, and I was like screaming and crying, and nobody heard me because we were on the 9th floor. And so whenever he took me in there, he beat the dog shit out of me, and then he made me stand up next to this bed for 3 days straight. And if I fell asleep, or if I felt like even like starting to fall asleep, he would beat me, and I was not allowed to sleep for 3 days. I had to stay up next to the bed while he and the bottom bitch slept. And so that was like my punishment at that time. And then it escalated to slicing my arms up and stuff all the time, and you just had to take it because you're not able to leave. And then when you are at the hospital and there is people you can actually tell, do it, because they won't let anything happen to you, But in that mindset, you don't know that. You don't know if he's testing or if the staff is testing you, or your mind gets so fucked up because you have to stay up so long, and you're deprived of sleep, so you don't know who's really against you, or you know what I mean. And plus he was giving us drugs as well, so it was just it was so wild. But I didn't do it at the hospital because he was sitting outside in the car, and he reminded me of that before I went inside, that he's sitting out in the car. And so he's watching everything and listening to everything, and so I thought he really was listening to everything, and he wasn't listening to everything. So.
And all this time, did you have any family looking for you?
Yeah, my parents were looking for me, and it was really sad because me and my mom are best friends, and I didn't get to talk to her for a couple months.
Did you grow up with both mom and dad?
Just my mom, and that's why it was so hard, because we're best friends, and so it's just really hard, because it's having to tell your mom that you're prostituting and that somebody's forcing you, and having that image in her mind forever is just, you don't ever want your mom to think about that, Yeah. So it was hard to tell her, but she was there for me through everything, because I had to go to trial, and I had to go through I had to do a whole deposition and all this kind of stuff with the courts and stuff, because based on I was the most severe case in the whole 13 girls, because I didn't listen ever. So I got the worst of everything, so it's hard-headed, and I was just very rebellious, I guess, during it.
How was your childhood growing up? Was it a good childhood or?
Honestly, I had a great childhood, which is weird. I mean, it wasn't that. I mean, it was like with family dynamic. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I had gotten molested when I was 12 by like an uncle that wasn't like blood. Like he was adopted through my mom's dad.
Yeah.
He adopted him because it was like his best friend's son, and I always would go over there and play with his daughter. And one night he was trying to touch me in bed, and when I spent the night with his daughter, and my stepdad went over there and almost killed him, like literally almost killed him, and my dad caught charges. It was a big mess, but it was weird because my mom started noticing I would put a bunch of like stuff in front of my door, like when I go to sleep at night, like I would like put chairs and all this stuff on the other side of the door, and she tried to open my door in the morning to go to school, and she's like, what the fuck is all this, like why is there so much stuff in front of your door? And I would never tell her because I was scared that somebody would come in the middle of the night and touch me, because I didn't want her to be, sad. And it's weird as a kid, you don't want to like disappoint your parents or put more stress on them when they're stressed out, with money. And so but like I never really cared about money and stuff like that. I had a good childhood. Like my mom loved me, and my stepdad was just like my real dad. Like I didn't know any different. So and my sister and brothers, because I have 9 brothers and 3 sisters, and yeah, I didn't have that bad of a childhood growing up, but other than that, but that's another thing, is that my mom never put me in counseling for that, which is really bizarre. And so I think that maybe because of that, it might have triggered me to use later, because I always thought about it, even as a teenager and adult. I just always wondered why she never put me in counseling, or why she just like kind of tucked it under the rug, and so I didn't, I never even asked her, honestly, because I was just really, I don't know.
At what age did you start using substances?
I started using substances, honestly, I started drinking alcohol a lot, and I honestly had an addictive personality, because like I started gaining a lot of weight after high school, and I would like kind of, because I had a boyfriend who did heroin, but I never did it. And I always wondered, like I look at him and I'm like, what makes him feel so good like that? Like I was always curious, and I was always trying to bail him out of jail, and I was always trying to save him for some reason. And it was really weird, and I was curious, but I never did it, because I saw how much it fucked his life off. And but then I got into a car accident, and they prescribed me Norcos, and for 3 months, and then one day it hit me a different way, because at first they made me nauseous, and I was like, why do people do these pills, And so then that's kind of what started that whole opiate addiction. And then when my insurance cut off and I wasn't technically hurt anymore, I had an addiction left, but no pain, except for emotional pain, So I realized this thing it makes me happy all the time. Like I don't even have to try to be happy or think happy thoughts. Like I'm just naturally happy. I'm just like euphoric, and who doesn't want to be happy all the time, So I thought I could hide it and just do it on the on the weekends and whatever. And the weekends turned into days and into nights. And then I'll just do it at night, and then after work, and then it became from nights to during the day to every single day. I could barely even go to work, because at the time I was an esthetician, and I did eyelash extensions and stuff and makeup, and I would like fall asleep on people while I was like doing their eyelashes and makeup, and I eventually got caught by my boss, and they sent me to rehab, and it just didn't stick. So and that was like the start of a chapter that I was praying was going to be, just kind of like a small like seasonal thing in my life that I kind of just got over and went on to the next thing. But it changed my life forever, and I mean to this day. So yeah.
And now you're out here messing with the blues?
Yeah, now I'm doing blues. Unfortunately, I thought it's crazy, because you think you have all these problems, but the real problems don't start till you start using. Because the problems I thought I had, I would take every single day 1,000,000 times over and over again than the problems that I actually have, that I run away from now. I don't even run away from the problems that I thought I had before. I run away from problems I really genuinely have now, because I'm addicted to drugs, and I've done everything under the sun to maintain my habit. And it's not like, I have a 2-year-old daughter, and I when I first found out she was going to be a boy, and I was like, oh yes, I'm having a boy. And then I was 8 months, and they were like, actually she's a girl. And I remember I started crying, and my mom's like, what is wrong with you, and why would you cry about that? And I'm like, because I don't want ever have to want my daughter to have to go through any of the things I went through, or stuff like that. And it sucks, because like I look at my kid, and I'm like, I would never want that on my daughter, like to her to do the things I'm doing, and now I look at my mom like, I'm sorry, mom, but it's crazy, because yeah, the blues they're no joke. They're not even, it's not even like, I mean, it's worse than heroin, like, and it's so easy accessible. Like, there's so many like high schoolers doing it, and everybody's overdosing on them, and it's really not anything lightly to be taken lightly, but I mean,
what if we have youngsters watching this interview?
Oh my God, please don't ever do it. I beg you.
Running the streets, or even doing what
no,
you did.
Absolutely. I promise you. Like, if I could
dates or anything like that.
Oh my gosh, please don't do it. Like, it's so dangerous. Like, there's so many men that have ulterior motives, and they pretend that they're, they want to help you, and they want to do this and this and that for you, but nobody wants to just help people out for free. And like, that's the plain truth. And when people get you addicted on something, they know you're going to come back, and they know that when you want and need that they're the ones that have it. And not just people who are doing dates, but even the drug dealers, like, you know what I mean? So it's not cool at all. Like, it's not cool, because life is such a beautiful thing, and it's so short, and it's going to be even shorter doing this. Like, every day that I do it is like playing Russian roulette with my life, because you don't know how much fentanyl is in those pills. Like, somebody that I get them from, he actually uses a black light, and he can see how much is in them, and every batch is different. Like, there's so much in one batch, and then there's some, but that so much in that one batch could kill everybody. Like, seriously, it could kill everybody. And you don't know how much you're taking, and it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't know how many times I've OD'd, and it's just not. If I could go back in time, I would not have even taken a pain pill from a car accident. I wish that we just need to have better, like more awareness. Like, it's almost like in school, it's like not wanting, like, drugs like aren't supposed to be talked about, or sex, and those are things that need to be talked about more than damn near like an anatomy of a cell. Like, you know what I mean? What are you going to use the nucleus for in life? No, but what are you going to educate your kids on about overdosing and killing them, and them not even able to make it to college to learn about this and that? Like, it's just it's crazy. Like, I seen a 17-year-old the other day came up and asked somebody around us, like, oh, do you guys have any blues I could get? And I said, what the hell? I'm like, I have an ass whooping you can get. You are not, like, what the hell? And I was like, how old are you? And she said she was 17. And I was like, and she was serious. Like, she has been on them for a whole year, and her parents knew about it too. And I'm just like, your parents are okay with it? She's like, no, but they know that I'm going to do it. No, they don't, because you're 17, and
they keep getting younger and younger, huh?
It's so sad. I just couldn't imagine, like, my little brother, oh my God. It's real life shit too, and it's not anything to be taken lightly at all. Like, I don't know. And then after all that horrendous stuff that happened to me with being sex trafficked, you would think that would have changed my life around to. That's how strong these drugs are these days, that you can have something so traumatic happen to you, and it doesn't matter anymore, because that drug is way stronger. And then I went out and did, like, I don't prostitute currently, but like, I had done it, I'm just being honest, a few times, because I needed the blue. And so that's how strong they are, to where you'll sell your soul to the devil, pretty much. Like, and I'm not trying to be like political, I mean, what's the word,
dramatic, or
no, not political, but religious or anything. I'm not saying like anything like but when I say that, I mean that, like, things that you wouldn't, your normal morals and your respect for yourself and stuff, it kind of just, you kind of just forget all that, and you're more worried about the drug. You're not worried about your family. You're not worried about this. And then the more you use, the more problems add up. You lose everything. You lose your house. You lose your family members. You start missing people's birthdays. You don't remember things anymore. You walk across the street, standing in the middle of the street, sleeping, literally standing in the middle of a crosswalk, sleeping, and a cop comes and honks behind you and says, "Get out of the way! You just dropped your foil. Pick it up." Like it's normal. Like that's how many people are doing it, and that's how normal it is. Cops, it's just crazy. Like it's just crazy. There's foil always on the ground places. There's straws everywhere. It's crazy how many people are doing it, and the awareness is not. It's almost like you only see it on the news a few times, but it should be on the news every day. Like it's so. We're all gonna be sorry soon because it's growing, and it's like almost like nobody knows what to do, you know. But I mean, I don't know the answer either, but I don't know. Hopefully, somebody figures it out.
All right, Candice. Well, thank you for sharing your story. I really do appreciate it.
Of course.
Are you okay with me sharing this on my YouTube channel?
Yeah, of course.
And just in case some of my subscribers want to reach out to you with any sort of help or donations, do you have any contact information that you want to share, like an email or a Facebook page or anything?
I actually, I'm like, I don't have any social media right now. I have like an email address I could give you.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's really weird. It's my boyfriend's name. It's Johnny, Johnnny, Dorame, Dorame, 231 at gmail.com. I have that all the time. Like I always get mail through there, so that's always a consistent way to reach out to me.
All right. Thank you, Candice.
You're welcome. Thank you.